Hey folks, we are gearing up. Hold on here, I'm just checking my levels. That should be pretty strong. Cool. And got some new grooves on the epidemic. Let me check my channel, make sure I'm on. Sounds pretty good. All right, and now I just got to hit a bunch of signals real quick. Just bouncing through on the Twitch. Hey, if you check the description below, you'll see my Twitch where I just uploaded, and you'll also see where a link to stuff I make on the DMsGuild. It's got all my work is 100% preview, and so you can check out how my stuff works, so you can have an idea about how I think about things and what's and we'll get to working on this artwork here in a moment. I just gotta finish hitting signals here real fast. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, we're gonna do some character art today, some monsters, and probably do some sketch ideation for the Crystals of Mabar, the 8th level Eberron Adventure that I created with the adventure builder that I've been developing with Stuart Braz, and it's coming along very nicely. So we're just about done with. We got some more playtesting to do for the 3rd act. That should be completed by mid-June, at which point. First draft should be done, and we punt it off for editing, and Andy Old Goat's going to come back through and clean up the post edits, and if everything works smoothly, we should be into page layout and full map and art production in August, possibly September. So I'm gonna have a pretty big gear shift here in a month or two, moving from doing ideation streams and concept development and moving more into artwork and page layouts. But I will keep Mondays as my martial powers development day, and I'll just have stray random days that I work on, maybe like spell point sorcerers or I don't know, maybe some more half casting monks. We'll see, but for now we're doing some sketchings. So I'm going to flip here. Boop, boop, boop. Cool. So Crystals Mabar, first draft. The adventure company. If you've seen my past streams, you'll remember that we were building a Path of Exile style flowchart to get you from one of the 6 hooks into the first. Into the first act. This is still obviously roughed, but here's your first act, here's your second act, and then here's the 3rd act. So you basically start off either in a village or in a forest, or if you're one of these hooks, you can just skip the forest altogether. And deep inside the forest, about a day's walk in, honestly. Day's walk into the forest. That's where the manifest zone is emanating from the underground bunker. And so there's a cemetery and there's a fortress that had been long buried underneath the forest. This is the area where the random vignettes, like the Tree of Woe, the Sinkhole Grave, the Pavilion, and the Holdout Building. Those are just in the mist somewhere as a standalone vignette. You could go, 2 miles in, and then you stumble across this gazebo. So then you have a fight with a bunch of ghouls there or something. And then from there you stumble on, and maybe you find the top side entrance at 3. And then you either negotiate, sneak, or fight your way through the guards and camp there and drop down into the underground bunker, where you have one of 6 different end goals and conclusions based on however many or whichever of the 6 hooks you came into the adventure pursuing. You can pick up more hooks along the way, or you can start off with multiple hooks. As you go through the adventure, you may achieve one or more of the objectives at the end of the adventure, but it all flows to this channel. You can, like, if you start in the 5th and the 6th hook, you're pretty much going to the Thorpe. If you're one of these other 4, you could use hook number 5 to get into the Thorpe, but otherwise you just get teleported either into the forest because there are specific adventures, specific challenges in there that you want the characters to face, such as up a tree has people that the characters will know, or will have, or these guys are working for the same organization, or they're locals that are stuck in a tree because undead want to kill them. And if you can rescue them from the tree, they can fill you in on information, let you know how they feel about the situation. Some of them want to get the hell out of there. Some of them are willing to pick up as sidekicks and go in with you to go fight. But you could also, so you hit this line here, you can go into these completely standalone vignette adventure encounters, and then you exit the forest into the manifest zone, or you can follow this line and then skip altogether, or you could get dropped into the forest, decide you want to go into the manifest zone, head away from the forest, and end up in the Thorpe. and then you go back into the forest and you get hit with adventures, and then you go back into the manifest zone, where you'll either run across the standalone vignette encounters, or the cemetery, or the fort. Or you could start in the cemetery, hit a vignette or 2 or 3 along the way, and then land in the fort, and like say take the underground tunnel in the fort to get directly to the underground bunker instead of having to worry about the topside entrance. Or you could at the cemetery find the secret passage that's a hidden escape from the fort, and just backtrack into the fortress, and then you've got your hooks. So you could pick up a hook from a character, one of the hook leads in the forest or in the cemetery, and again, you can just pick up extra hooks along the way. Or your characters could just randomly roll which hooks they want, and maybe we'll put some pre-gen characters for you guys to play with in there, or you can just throw your team at it. And if you want to have a quick one-shot adventure, you can start yourself either at the topside entrance or actually in the underground bunker, and focus your efforts there. If you've got more than one session, you can start all the way back to the Thorpe. If you start here at the Thorpe, you're probably going to have 4, 8, 12, 16, 24. This could be 30 hours worth of adventure if you want to really play out all the options. That you go to the Thorpe, then you play through the hooks, then you get into the manifest zone, start at the cemetery, play through 1 or 2 of the hooks, get to the fort, play through another hook or 2, and then get into the topside entrance, and then drop down to the underground bunker. Or if the teams figure out a way to find the underground, like the secret passage, or they can fight their way through the underground tunnel through all the undead, and then figure out the traps to actually get into the bunker, then they could potentially skim this down from 30 hours down to 24. And then you have your conclusions. And if this is part of an ongoing campaign, we'll give you some ideas of how you can extend this further. So, super excited about this. I love how the adventure is developing, how flexible it is, how it can be as linear or as sandboxy as the DM wants. So that's the cut of it. Here, there's 6 hooks. You start off with the 12 who hire you to fix a problem that they created in the underground bunker. Plot 2 is Ader Academy that realizes that somebody has stolen their artifact, and divinations indicate that it's over here inside this manifest zone someplace inside Carnwood, which is already a dangerous place to be. The third hook is that the Church of the Silver Flame, the oracles there have detected that a manifest zone to Mabar has bloomed in Carnwood, and it's unstable and dangerous and needs to be shut down. Gatekeepers feel pretty much the same way with the hook 4. They'll tree stride you right into the area. 5 is the local sheriff that oversees the eastern range of Central Carnath, and the Carnwood southern edge is along his jurisdiction, but he doesn't have time to go pursuing every complaint that every little shanty Thorpe might have about the Carnwood. You shouldn't be there at all. So if things are going weird, it's kind of your fault, but it's his duty to check on things. So he recruits deputies often to go do gigs for him that he can end up relying on to continue being deputized and potentially replace him if you're good enough in time. But so he'll send you there, and you realize that there's some weird extraplanar shit going on in this wood, And if you're playing Hook 6, your family lives in that thorp. And they said, hey, if you ever want to settle down or lay low, you're welcome to come out and till the lands with us for a while to see if you like the slower pace. And by the time you get there, all that extra planar stuff went horribly wrong and everyone's dead. So now you're on a mission of vengeance through the forest into the Manifest Zone. Hook 1 and 2 start the closest to the underground, like the Ader Academy. They set this place up with the guy that stole the artifact from Ader Academy, so they have eyes on sight. They can actually teleport you directly into there because that guy's cut you off and he's unwilling to share his progress report, and that really makes the 12 angry when they invest a lot of resources and a lot of reputation into your let's stabilize a manifest zone to Mabar so that we can harvest extra planar materials for spell components. It's going sideways pretty quick. Ader Academy knows where the artifact that's doing this is, so they can at least get you to the top side entrance. The church and the gatekeepers can either plane shift you or tree stride you via ritual, either into the Manifest Zone or into the forest, depending on how close the DM wants you to land, mainly how long he plans on running the adventure for, whether it's a short duration or long duration. They could propel you all the way into the Manifest Zone for you to find the topside entrance and head directly in from Adventure C, Adventure D, Encounter D, the Tree of Woe, is a landing point for the gatekeepers. So you could land at the tree, and it's just like well, there's a topside entrance right over there. Let's go for this, and then you just dive in. Or if you're doing the Church of the Silver Flame, you could land at the edge of the Manifest Zone. In your divination, their divinations wouldn't let you see closer, so you land at the edge of the Manifest Zone. But it's a cakewalk to get to. Nothing blocks your path on your way to the topside entrance. You start rocking out, and there you go. And then. So you're pushing further and further back in the adventure, the further the higher up number of hook you have, and there's events in the forest and in the Manifest Zone that are specific to each plot hook. So the earlier in the adventure you start, the more you can have the narrative be more social and exploration based than being just pure hack/combat or exploration combat. You can completely Scooby-Doo this with just social encounters and exploration if you wanted to. You could just do pure hack and slash if you wanted to fight undead, demons, and cultists. Any mix. It's pretty versatile, and I'm pretty proud of it. So I've yammered about this long enough, so we're building stuff. I had started this process when I realized I should be streaming. And I got about 45 minutes to do this before we start talking about doing dinner around here. So this is... Who is this cat? Let's get through the Manifest Zone and the flora in Mabar and the crystals in Mabar, what they do. It's the soil. The soil turns brittle into these weird crystals that you can mix with blood to make necromantic chalk for removing the material costs for things like raising the dead. It's free if you can gather these crystals. All it needs is native soil from the plain of the Mabar and blood. So how easy. It's weird how the corpses that are piling up don't have any blood in them. Well, there's villagers missing, you say. How quaint. About the bunker and surrounding locations. Adventure plot hooks. Okay, there we go. So let's see. Council of 12. This Rahid Maleen. So let's go ahead. This one's number 2. That is a professor from the Ader Academy. I might have to change his wardrobe. Let's see. Oh yeah, Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk. Everyone hates this guy. He's got tenure. He's a freaking genius, but boy is he pompous. It's hard to say who might want to steal from his archives. Maybe anyone who hates him. Krimhilda. Ooh, that's who we're going to work on. Church of the Silver Flame, Krimhilda. Church, the Circle of 12. Which one are we working on? Oh yeah, the Gatekeeper, the Sethu Solga. Hey, Sethu. I mean, names are optional. But yeah, we're doing some sketchy stuff. So I'm almost. I was starting to work on these, and I realized I should be streaming this stuff, and so I just dropped anchor and hopped on for a bit. I'm gonna go out and do some dinner with the gal here in a few, and my birthday's coming up on the 20th, so I may be out of town on Thursday and Friday. We'll see if the timing works out for everybody. I'm going to have a lot of time off starting on Monday the 16th, 2 weeks from now. A week from, oh my God, a week from Monday. Yes. Yeah, a week from Monday, I'm taking vacation time to do more of this and to run amok with my gal. So you can expect some more of me than usual, and then less of me than usual, and then I'll be back to what's usual. But I've been considering how much color do I actually need to integrate into this project, and I found I stumbled into a really fun video about 60-30-20, 60-30-10 rules of color for filmmaking and modern painting theory. And I don't see any color, so I'm always interested in like industry formulas and like the color process, and if I can get good enough with color theory, then I can continue to produce color art well enough that it's worth people investing in. You know, if I ever take the time to make stock art out of any of this, because I never ever take time to make stock art out of the stuff that I do. I really need to change that. 2021 was supposed to be the year that I changed that, and I just hate putting products together. I hate packaging. I hate the products. I should love it, and I just don't yet. So I am trying to. I'm hoping my birthday gift to myself is falling in love with the process of making good product pages. And maybe I stream the product pages. Maybe that'll motivate me to start packaging stuff. Maybe I start doing a asset package, like Asset Package Tuesday or something. Who knows? I feel like I can make this face blah 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 bigger. I'm going to duplicate this layer. Copy. No, I'm going to cut, paste, and then grow. Not bad, buddy. Oh, Meow Zahar, why you do? Thank you. Cool. I'm pretty good with that. Safe you, badass. This guy is hostile, man. I am down with this clown. Come over here, and let's let's retransform and warp this a bit to bring it in. I've discovered that there's something called Recast. I think that's the service. So I'm going to be firing up onto Twitch again. I'm at 68 subscribers right now here on YouTube, and I had gotten up to 78 on Twitch when I realized that YouTube was faster, but I thought I could only stream to one thing at a time, and then I realized, hanging out with Taryn on streams, that he has a feed through his OBS to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time. So I've educated myself, and so I'm going to start streaming on both Twitch and YouTube. Probably Monday. Monday we're cleaning up text on martial powers. So we've released a play test with the mana conversion for Blood Hunter and the Ranger Monster Hunter. So it's the Monster Slayer. Sorry, the Monster Slayer sub archetype. Conclave. Thank you. And so we're going to clean up the playtest content on that, and then maybe next week or the following, maybe during my week off, I will get my Patreon set up so that people can look at the playtest content for free. And if you just want to support my efforts, then you're certainly welcome to throw me a tip. But I don't think I'm planning on doing any perks and rewards. I might do like I don't have a Discord channel, and I don't want the responsibility of moderating a Discord channel right now. I already have my hands full hanging out at Dungeoneer Pack and Indestructible Boys Designosphere and Trent Monk's Temple Discord channel, not to mention the DMsGuild Lounge. So I've got like 4 and a little bit of Eberron, a 5th channel, and some Dice Try, where I hang out and talk color mana for D&D. I'm on a number of channels. I don't want to have to start dedicating time to my own, not until I've gotten to a point where I guess probably until I start monetizing YouTube. So if you want me to set up a Discord channel, like and subscribe so that you can encourage me getting monetized to instigate me opening up a Discord channel of my own where I can start sharing all my playtest content. You can get feedback and early access to stuff, and maybe I'll have like a super early access hidden stream for folks that are willing to pay like $3 a month instead of $1 or something like that. So I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but I do all the artwork. I do all the design. I hire writers and editors to help make sure what I say actually happens. I've got a lot of work and development from now through 2024, just in time for D&D to change all the rules. I'll have all my rules finished. I'll have the revision for the 5-color mana core rules. I'll have martial powers out. This will be published, and I should be well on my way to finishing the adventure design kit that this is built from. In Command should be published, and well, it will be. It should be published like Q1 2023. It's going to be a while. It's like 100 pages of mass combat, minion mechanics, and kingdom. Running a kingdom as a downtime task. Everyone loves downtime activities, right? Well, here, run a kingdom. So that's essentially what I've done. I've converted kingdoms and running thieves guilds into a simple cascade of downtime activities that you can build out into an entire campaign if you want. And I've got a whole playlist of I think I'm up to 6 streams now. A few of them were the mass combat system, and a few of them were converting Greenest from Horde of the Dragon Queen into using the mass combat system. And now I am working on I was working on guild downtime activities. like a building a blacksmith shop and the checks to operate that, or like how to ruin people's reputation and how long it takes to restore it. Fun stuff like that. Corporate buyouts, sages, all that stuff. That was on yesterday's stream, so go check that out. It's pretty rando, and it can get kind of dark at times because I'm using real world examples to explain how these mechanics work, and I'm awfully cynical about it. But these things are primarily a DM's tool that just happen to work great for players too. So I take the cynical approach because as a DM, I'm always providing deplorables for my players to feel pretty good about eliminating with minimal guilt. Sometimes they'll, like, if they're dumb enough to get into a social conversation with bad guys, there's a decent chance that somebody in the enemy organization desperately wants out. That's an ongoing theme that I have in a lot of my adventures and content, that people get involved in stuff they didn't realize how bad it was, and they're looking for an excuse or someone to help them get out without either embarrassing themselves or getting themselves targeted to be killed. So there's it's not even really moral gray. It's just the stance you can take is either you got yourself into this mess and you're gonna have to get yourself out, or sometimes it can be, well, I'm willing to help you, but I'm going to need something in return from you. Or it can be, if I can help rescue you, this could be the chain to a whole new set of adventure hooks. And I love all three of those. So that's the dance I'm always playing as a DM, is seeing who they're going to take a liking to, and who then what kind of hooks and resources are they going to lead the characters to that they may not have otherwise had access to. So I love that stuff. I'm going to free transform and skew there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. There's always room for more details. Always room for more details. I got like this cord plate sort of affair going on here as like splint mail, I guess. Yeah, splint mail is probably the closest equivalent. Too smiley. Yeah, way too smiley. There, gruff. Good and gruff. Nice. Let's grab a chunk of this and see what happens if we skew. And then yarp. How's that sit? Merch down. Yep, save. All right, cool. Sifu. That's his name. Sifu Soga. Keep forgetting his name. We got a half hour left. Soga. I'm Mabar. Lewis Dunk, how you doing, buddy? Let's get dunky for a bit. Like, subscribe. I do all sorts of stuff. I ideate and create new mechanic systems for Dungeons and Dragons and 5e games in general. I do the layouts. I do the artwork, and then I do the publish. And then I do all this. So if you like the art or check the other, like, subscribe, check all the channels that all the playlists that I'm building each week. You'll see the kind of stuff that I'm involved in. And as one project comes to a completion, we rotate it out, and then we rotate another one in. So I've got monk rebuilds, I've got a sorcerer rebuild, I've got changes coming to the 5-color mana spell point variant rules. I've got the martial powers, which will also either be universal key, elemental key, or 5-color mana spell points. And again, this adventure, of course. There's a lot of, and once all these, and then I'll be doing the adventure toolkit. This adventure, we're making this adventure so that when we finish the toolkit, we'll be able to say, since this will be 100% preview, we'll say check out crystals on page 52. And you'll see how we're layering different types of encounter scenarios depending on what your plot hook is. And we have a random generator for plot hooks for Eberron that we used for this. I think this was I want to say this was 62, which is like an artifact is stolen, which is what got us. And then the location is in a manifest zone, so stuff like that. And I think the villain was Emerald Claw. We have a bunch of 100 a D100 list for these 5 different elements of adventure, and we have a randomizer for it that you can build into a pirate subdeck for rolling D10s or D20s instead of a D100, because there's only so many of the different plot elements that are inherently pirate based. For example, it's either aquatic or thievery or high adventure themed stuff. So you can have those sorts of elements in a high seas pirate campaign random adventure builder. So you build the adventure, you randomize the adventure seed, and then basically the rest of the book is talking about how you can combine different elements to create different adventure concepts. And then there's this walkthrough effect that I showed you, this path of adventure here. I'll look at it again because I could build. Each adventure is going to be different, but this is a really complex format that was hella fun to recognize and see manifest. But yeah, we'll go into all that mess. It'll be a good book. The 5-color mana spell point variant rule playtest that I had on Babies with Knives. That's if you check the link below for my bundle and then go to the core mechanics, you'll see in the product description a link to a YouTube channel where a bunch of strangers are having a one-shot, turned into a two-shot adventure with me using 5-color mana at 6th level. Basically, them storming a mountaintop monk monastery to defeat these cultists that were trying to cause the volcano to erupt and destroy the town, basically. So that is going to be another adventure in this same format that I am really looking forward to being able to publish. But more so, I'm super looking forward to, because I did that one shot playtest stream, like in 2019, I think, and so the 5-color mana is going to get updated soon, so that that content will be a little different than what's going to be in the books. But I'll have the original book still included at no extra cost with the revision. So if you download it, you can see the original book alongside with the revised, like with Strixhaven and Theros, alongside because Ravnica is the only one that's out that I made the 5-color mana. So the only MTG material I was allowed to even reference was Ravnica. So now that there's both Strix and Theros out, I've got more content I can play with. Like I can go into the Gods of Theros with when I go into the Cleric and the Paladin, well, not the Paladin, but the Cleric for sure. And Strixhaven has the 5-color, has the paired color mana system, the same as Ravnica does. So I get to talk a little bit more about color pairing in your mana pool, and devoting spell selections to specific colors, so that you can always be playing your native colors. Like if you're going Boros or Lorehold, it's you can have like just white and red mana, or if your campaign wants to be more open-ended and more Dominaria style, where you're running 5-color mana pools, and it's easier for you to get access to a wider array of spells because you have less color mana limits. Then those options will be there for you too. But I already have obligations to finish these books already, so I'm probably not going to I'll probably finish the core mechanics rewrite alongside the development of the Martial Powers book. So I'm looking forward to Martial Powers going into play testing and open beta testing for anyone to come and grab, so that we can start making sure that my head's screwed on straight with how well this plays. Because I've got a 15th level team that I'm running right now, and I have both an Arcane Trickster and a Ranger that are using Martial Powers. And I love it. I mean, as a DM, I love it. I think it's cool as hell, and I love how much how they can spend their resources to like gamble on die rolls and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. They have a lot more punch in their martial damage than they normally do. So they're scaling up with full casters a little bit better. So they can. As long as their mana holds out, they can punch above their weight class, unless they're really into social and exploration, in which case they can kit out their martial powers to all be ability checks, boosts, and like advantages and inspiration die rolls to supplement the type of exploration adventuring that they like to do. So it accommodates to all three pillars, and again, it has color alignment. You can opt into using color or elements or alternate color magic paradigms like light and shadow, body, mind, and spirit. There's a number of different paradigms you can implement with it. You're just taking different disciplines of martial powers and devoting them to different aspects of the color paradigm, of the magic paradigm that you're using, whether it's like one of the 4 elements, or it's one of the 5 colors, or it's one of 3 aspects of mortality, or whatever it is whatever magic paradigm you decide to go with. They're all viable. Or if you're just going with like standard 8 schools of magic, so your spell points are generic. And there is no differentiation in the mana pool from what kind of mana you're using. You're just using magic, because that's D&D, like out of the box D&D, RAW rules as written D&D. It's generic mana, and the spell point system in the DMG is stupid. So it's we rebuilt it, and then we gave you the option of using color if you want to, if you're an MTG nut like I am. I love using color in Eberron. I think that's super fun. Eberron really lends itself well. And just the whole color magic perspective, where everything magic that you encounter is going to be one of 5 colors, or it's going to be colorless and freak your team out. So technically there's 6 colors, colorless being this like over magic that's more primordial than the colors that get filtered into the prime material plane or into the outer planes. It's from beyond. It's the far realm. The far realm is colorless mana, and it's terrifying to behold. So that's awesome. But well, yeah, you can just as easily do 4 colors like earth, wind, water, and fire. And like so you could build a firebender by having just fire mana and devoting yourself to fire disciplines and using martial powers that are mechanically fire based, as opposed to like water or earth. Or you could play Avatar and have all 4 of them if you wanted, just depending on how you want your paradigm to roll. So, and again, if you're using colorless mana, then you have access to all 4 elements like you do in the player's handbook when you're playing Way of the 4 Elements. So that's in the bundle too, by the way. If you look at the drop down description, it's got you'll see I think it's 18 pages. It's a half casting color mana or elemental magic variant of the Way of the 4 Elements. That's 100% free preview for you to take a look at, like how I think about like game design, and if you check one of my other stream channels in the playlists, you'll see me doing ideation and development for both the Sun Soul Monk and the Way of Shadow, using either white and red mana for the Sun Soul, or blue and black mana for the Way of Shadow. Or if you wanted to, you can just use light and shadow. So the key that you use is radiant, or it's necrotic, for example, or psychic. So yeah, the Sun Soul is fire and radiant, while Shadow is necrotic and psychic. So it has those 2 things going for it. And then once Martial Powers is out, I can deep dive into the Kinsei rebuild that I'm going to do. That can actually just use Martial Powers, so you can build kits for your Kinsei. The Drunken Master and the Kinsei, the Drunken Master, and Open Hand are all variant martial monks, while all the other ones are half casters. So you're either using martial powers, half casting, or both, depending on how you build your characters. So once both color mana is updated and martial powers is released, those 2 work together for all 13 classes in the game to utilize color or a different magic paradigm. And then I'll be able to complete Spellpoint Sorcerers, which I've been working on stream, all the monk redos, which I've been talking about. And by then we will be working on in-command projects like converting Test of the Warlords, finishing up Horde of the Dragon Queen, building the mass combat system for Descent into Avernus, and then doing the Avernus Hexcrawl game that I want to develop and get built out. And then after that's done, I can do the Ravnica color mana Hexcrawl, where each land type is a different color orientation. So I have a stream down there about building 3-dimensional underground dungeons, and I was using the Ravnica Rumble Belts and Undercity as an example of how that works, which is a long-term project that I honestly probably won't get to until 2024. But Ravnica is not going anywhere, and it doesn't actually rely on anything unique. It's pretty generic 5e, just using color mana from the core mechanics book. Oh yeah, on the 14th, a week from tomorrow, I'm going to be hanging out on Dungeoneer Pack's channel Follow me on Twitter. I'll drop notes when he releases the update card. And but we're going to be talking about converting Druid and Ranger features in Dungeons and Dragons into the 5-color mana land aesthetics. Like desert is a like a biome. So, but there's still green and blue and white and black and red color representation inside of deserts. Same thing with tundra, as well as temperate zones. So and then there's tropic zones. So you have the 4 different types of biomes in general that have 5 different land types. So you can recombine the Ranger and Druid class features to work off of colors instead of specific types of biome, so that if you are a Red Ranger, you're going to be leaning into like mountains and maybe mud flats, stuff like that, and volcanic activity. So like you could go like red white, and you could do like in a volcanic. Arctic volcano sort of region, like Icewind Dale in Adventures of Forgotten Realms would be a decent example of that. So there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. Like, so I've got blue, I've got black, I've got white, and I've got red. So here's all the different biomes that I could use. Like black has swamps and Underdark and ruins. So if your druid is Druid of Circle of the Land black, then you could do your rests and regain mana in swamps, underground, or in ruins. So, and then you could do things like Eberron manifest zones that would align with the different colors, or outer planes. So like if your characters get up to 16th level and they go to if they go to Avernus, which is I believe red, black, and blue according to Gathering of the Realms on DMsGuild. Gathering of the Realms. I did a great color mana flow chart for the Outer Planes. And Avernus, if I recall correctly, is black, red, and blue. So in Descent into Avernus, if your Ranger or Druid is devoted to red or black or blue, then while you're in Avernus, you can channel regain mana that way. It's a cool system. It's a fun, flavorful system, and I'm pretty good with Professor Bushyface here. So I think I'm going to hang this one up. It's 5:15, so I'm gonna set that one aside, and let's go look at what's that dude's name? Lewis Dunk, Dunky Dunk Dunk, Lewis Dunk, Dunk Dunk Dunk, Lewis Dunk, Dunk Dunk Dunk, Rahid Malign. There. I'm just going to ideate like I do. This is Phil doing the deal. Let me get a reference for size and I don't seem to be talking. I'm thinking of my friend Jared. This guy reminds me of my friend Jared in Arizona. I haven't talked to him in a while, and I really need to. And I was just thinking about that. Sorry, I like jammed out a whole bunch of talky talk, and I'm like, it's time for me to just like not. It's it's 5:22. We are getting close to being done for the day and grabbing some grub. I am looking forward to, and if you haven't seen it yet, definitely start watching it on HBO, The Outer Range. It's cool. Yeah, it's cool. We're going to pick up Paramount for probably a week to see if it's worth keeping, but we're going to catch on to the two Star Trek shows, Picard and Discovery, and we're going to check out Halo, and if by the time we're done watching those, nothing else is grabbing our attention, we're going to ditch it. So we'll see. We'll see if it's worth keeping or not. I don't think that works anymore. There we go. This guy's awesome. I am plenty pleased with this. Nice. I'm pretty happy with that. Boop, boop, boop. And it's 5:26, so I'm going to go ahead and stop for now. And Sorry, his eye's bugging me. There, pretty pleased with that. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna post this on Twitter. So check down below, like, subscribe to help the algorithms. Drop me a comment. Check out a couple of my other videos. I've got a lot of different playlists. Follow me on Twitter. You can check out this image there. And go buy my books. There's going to be plenty more for you to see in the future. So looking forward to next time. Wish me luck on the development tomorrow, and I'll see you guys on Monday.